The first problem with moral relativism, or rather with extreme forms of moral relativism, is that they lead to extreme, right? And some people would say absurd conclusions. Take the issue of slavery. Right? For a very large percentage of the United States, right, or at least of the white population of the United States, in the early 19th century, slavery was considered morally acceptable. In 21st century America, it's very, very hard to find anyone who will admit to believing that slavery is sometimes morally acceptable. Right? I can think of one person. Now, if moral relativism were true, right, it seems like what we have to say is, well, the culture changed. But we don't really have a standpoint from which we can say that the culture has improved, or that the culture used to be wrong and is now right. Now, we can say this, right? From the perspective of our 21st century American culture, right, at least early 19th century white American culture, or at least that segment of it, was wrong. Right? But then again, we would also have to say, but from their perspective, we are wrong. Right? So from our perspective, it's an improvement. Right? But if we're moral relativists, all we can mean by that is we've come now, our beliefs now are more in line with what we believe now. Right? But we can't say in any higher sense that we are right and the people in that time were wrong. Right? So, right, it seems to lead to extreme conclusions, like the claim that slavery is morally acceptable if your culture says that it's morally acceptable. Or there can, in principle, be no moral progress. Right? If we say that what we believe now is morally better than what we believed then, if we're moral relativists, all we can really mean by that is our current moral standards fit better with our current moral standards than other people's moral standards. Right? Which, it's debatable whether that's saying very much. Right? So here's how one author, Rebecca Manley Pippert, put it. She was talking to someone that was at least claiming to be an extreme relativist. Right? And the person said to her, well, it seems like you're saying that some actions are just right and others are wrong. And she said, okay, I think I see what you're saying. So what you're saying is you like pepperoni pizza and giving money to charity. But if I like sausage on my pizza and beating up little kids, right, well, then that's okay too. Now, strictly speaking, that's not it, right? What the person was saying was, if you like sausage on your pizza, right, and beating up little kids, then I don't like the fact that you like that, right? So it's wrong according to my standards, or I don't like it, right? But it's not in any objective sense wrong. Right? So what she said was, this seems to be an absurd conclusion. Most of us want to say, no, if your culture says it's okay to beat up little kids for fun, right, then there's something wrong with your culture, and not just doesn't fit with our standards, right? But there's some sense in which our culture is getting that point right. Right? Now, I should add, right, realism leaves open the possibility that at times our own cultures are what get things wrong. Right? So I might discover at some point, actually, it turns out, right? So if I'm in a culture that condones slavery, I could discover that my culture is wrong. Right? So if you're a realist, you're not committed to the view that you're always right. You're committed to the view that that in some sense, the dictates of anyone's culture or time period, etc., right, are potentially right or wrong.